Hey there, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to, take those complex ideas and really find the gold nuggets for you. Today, we're exploring something truly foundational, really central to our well-being and success, the amazing power of your own mind. We're taking a deep dive into Joel Osteen's book, Think Better, Live Better. It's got this fascinating strategy for, reprogramming your mind. That really caught my eye.
Indeed. And what's so central here, I think, is the core idea.
Yeah.
The way you think literally has power over your destiny. Our mission in this deep dive is to explore how we can identify and delete what Osteen calls defective thinking, the goal being to unlock new levels of achievement, new purpose for ourselves.
Exactly. So think of this as your shortcut to getting informed on how to really take control of your thoughts. Ready to dive in? Let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Osteen kicks things off with this really great analogy. It makes the whole concept click. He compares our mind to a computer. Imagine, like the most powerful, newest computer model, perfect hardware. He says, similarly, you were made a masterpiece with perfect hardware, the right size, nationality, gifts, everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he adds, God installed this original software in you too, programmed for victory, for health, strength, creativity. Your original code basically says you can do all things, whatever you touch will prosper. You are the head, not the tail. It's all in there.
Right. And if we connect that to the bigger picture, the challenge pops up when these, viruses contaminate that software. These are those thoughts, the discouraging ones. I'll never succeed. I'm not talented. I can't break this addiction. They make us see limits, not opportunities. They just sort of cloud everything.
It's just like your computer running slow or files you can't access. Not because the computer itself is broken, but the software. It got messed up. The good news, as Osteen puts it, is you're not the mistake. The problem's in the software, the thinking patterns. You just need to get rid of those viruses, get back to that original programming.
Makes sense.
And this next bit, this is where it gets really practical for me. Joel suggests one of the best things we can learn is simply to hit the delete button. So when a negative thought comes, maybe you've seen your best days, you recognize it. It's a virus trying to stop you.
Yeah.
And then hit delete.
Just like that.
Well, yeah, but not just delete. You have to replace it immediately with what your original software says. So if the thought is, you'll never get well, boom, replace it. God is restoring health back to me. It's an active swap.
Ah, okay. So that brings up a question. How diligent do we need to be? I mean, this sounds like constant work. The text is pretty clear. Guard your mind. You control the doorway, essentially, what you let in. If you let those negative thoughts just play on a loop, well, it contaminates your confidence, your self-esteem, your future, really.
Absolutely. And Joel shares his own story here. When he took over pastoring the church, wow, all these thoughts hit him. You can't do this, Joel. You don't know how. You're too young. All that stuff. He says he just kept hitting the delete button over and over. That's the key, he says, to reaching your highest potential. Mastering that internal voice.
That's powerful. It really highlights the discipline involved.
Yeah, because if you go around thinking, oh, I'm not talented, you won't have the confidence, right?
Yeah.
Or if you think you're unattractive, you might just miss out on things.
Your thoughts become your boundaries.
They become your reality, in a way. Exactly. So building on that, how do we deal with the negative stuff people say about us? Those labels. Osteen says we need to clear out all those negative things people have said. Labels. Others try to stick on you. People are always doing that. Coach is saying, you're too small. Counselors, you're just a C student. Even parents, sometimes, with discouraging words. These words, he says, are like seeds. They can take root if you let them.
What's really interesting here is the contrast he presents. You hear about Walt Disney, right? Told he wasn't creative, or Lucille Ball told she lacked acting skills. But they removed those labels, didn't accept them.
Yeah.
And there's that other story, the man whose high school counselor literally labeled him a low average.
Yeah.
He ended up in low-skilled jobs for, 17 years, then takes an IQ test, turns out he's genius level.
Incredible, isn't it? So he removed that label, that limitation someone else put on him, and went on to invent things, get patents. Or Joel himself, dealing with being told he wasn't as good as his father when he started ministry. He had to actively fight that thought, peel off that label.
So the takeaway is?
The only power a label has is the power you give it. If you remove it, stop thinking about it, stop acting like it's true. It loses its power. You aren't who people say you are. You are who, as Osteen puts it, God says you are. Strong, talented, valuable. A masterpiece.
People don't determine your destiny. That comes from a higher source.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this next analogy. It's a beautiful one. The caterpillar and the butterfly. It speaks to transformation. Osteen suggests that inside every one of us, there's this Uh, blessed, prosperous, victorious person. Already there, free from addictions, confident, talented, just waiting to be released.
And he connects this to that verse in Romans about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. The Greek word used there, metamorpho, it means metamorphosis.
Exactly, like a plain caterpillar transforms in its cocoon. Because
Yeah.
this beautiful butterfly that can fly, we can transform from what he calls wormy thoughts. I'm not qualified, I can't do this, I'll never rise higher.
Mm.
We can transform into our full potential.
And this highlights a critical point, I think. It's not just waiting for something to happen to us, it's an active partnership. Those wormy thoughts like, I've made too many mistakes or I'm not good enough, they keep us stuck in that cocoon state.
Right.
But by consciously choosing to align our thoughts with that higher vision, that positive potential, well, that amazing person inside can actually be released. It's about believing that best version of you is already there, just waiting.
It reminds me of the sculptor analogy he uses. Seeing this beautiful eagle trapped inside a rough, seemingly useless piece of wood, sculptor looked past the flaws, saw the potential. And that's how the message goes, our Creator sees us. Even if you feel you've messed up, made mistakes,
Yeah.
the eagle is still inside you.
Yeah, and that connects to the story of Gideon, too. He felt weak, inadequate, called himself the least. But how did the angel address him?
Mighty man of fearless courage.
Exactly. Called him what he could become, not just what he felt he was in that moment.
Wow. So your butterfly is waiting to soar. That's the invitation. Stop dwelling on the limits. Embrace the change that starts in your mind. Break out of that cocoon.
That's a powerful image.
Okay, so here's where it gets really practical again. Consciously thinking ourselves to victory. Did you know studies suggest we talk to ourselves like up to 30,000 times a day? That internal chatter, that dialogue is a form of meditation. Worrying, Osteen says, is just meditating on the wrong things.
And faith.
Faith is meditating on the right things, the promises, the possibilities.
So don't meditate on doom and gloom. Negative news, financial fears.
Right. Philippians 4.8 gives that instruction. Think on things that are wholesome, pure, of good report. If it's not good news, basically don't give it headspace. It poisons your outlook.
But how do we realistically maintain that focus? Life throws curveballs. The news cycle is relentless. The text encourages keeping your mind fixed, focused. Keep your mind fixed on me. I will keep you in perfect peace. So it means actively, intentionally changing what you dwell on. Replacing, maybe I won't overcome this sickness with, say, God delivers me from afflictions. Cultivating inner peace.
Yeah, it's such a crucial insight. Remember the Apostle Paul went through shipwrecks, prison, yet he said, I think myself happy. You have that power. You can think yourself happy, peaceful, into a better mood. Or you can think yourself depressed and fearful by focusing on the wrong stuff.
So it's an active choice.
Absolutely. And Joel gives specific advice. Start your day by setting your mind right. Before the news, before checking how you feel. Declare, this is going to be a great day. Don't start in neutral, decide the direction.
I like that. Be proactive with your mindset.
Yeah. He even uses this funny, maybe slightly odd analogy about a lady who supposedly killed her plant with negative thoughts. Just to show thoughts have power. The hotel analogy, your mind is like a hotel. Don't give fear or I can't a room. Put up a no vacancy sign for doubt and unbelief by constantly affirming, I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm blessed.
Fill the rooms with positivity first.
Exactly. Because you are going to become what you believe. Guard that doorway to your mind. Only let in thoughts of hope, faith, victory. Your life follows your thoughts.
Okay. Powerful stuff.
Right, let's unpack this next big idea.
Yeah.
You are pregnant with possibilities. What does that mean? Well, like a pregnant woman, you might not see outward signs right away, but something vital has happened. Conception has occurred. Osteen suggests God has placed gifts, talents, ideas, dreams, even healing and freedom inside you. They might just be developing, not visible yet.
What's really interesting is how this idea is applied to long-standing struggles. Like, if you've battled addiction for years, the concept is you are actually pregnant with freedom. If business is slow, maybe you're pregnant with abundance. It's about living with this inner expectation, this knowing that something good is developing.
Yeah, and the stories really bring it home. He talks about a man diagnosed with serious cancer. This man started declaring, I'm pregnant with healing. And later, doctors were apparently amazed that cancer wasn't what they thought, and he became totally cancer-free.
Wow.
Or think about Sarah from the Bible. Over 90 when she had Isaac. Way past the natural possibility. But the point is, a higher power can step in. So don't abort your baby, your dream, your promise, just because the circumstances look bad.
Like Joel's father, right? Raised in poverty, but felt pregnant with the idea his kids wouldn't live like that.
Exactly. He became what Osteen calls a barrier breaker.
Set a new standard.
So the encouragement is, you are pregnant with success, with ideas, with your destiny. That little whisper inside telling you, you are made for more. That's your baby kicking, so to speak. You can be the first in your family to break a negative cycle or achieve something amazing. Keep believing.
That's a very hopeful perspective.
Okay, next point. This one hits home for a lot of people, I think. That feeling of needing more. More money, more talent, more connections before we can achieve our dreams. The text really challenges this. It states, God has given you exactly what you need for the season you are in right now, if you don't have it yet. The principle is, you don't actually need it for this specific moment.
Okay, but that can be hard to swallow, right? When you look around and feel genuinely limited or shortchanged, how do you internalize that? The core belief presented is, those who trust in the Lord will never lack any good thing. So your trust isn't really in what you have, but in your source, knowing that provision will arrive precisely when it's needed for the next step.
Exactly. Joel talks about how he used to think, oh, if only we had a bigger building, or if only I had more experience. But he learned to shift his thinking to, I have what I need for the season I'm in right now.
And when it becomes insufficient,
That's when, he believes, a higher power steps in. He references the story of King David wanting to build a temple. God, through the prophet Nathan, basically said, look, I've given you everything needed for now. If it hadn't been enough, I would have given you much, much more.
that implies a trust in timing and provision.
Yes. And look at the examples. Moses had an ordinary stick, parts the Red Sea. David, just a slingshot, defeats Goliath. Mary McLeod Bethune started a school with literal cardboard boxes and berry juice for ink. Later became a presidential advisor. Use what you have.
Use what's in your hand right now.
Right. The scripture says, don't despise the day of small beginnings. What you have might seem tiny, insignificant, maybe even useless. But the message is, when divine energy, when God breathes on it, it gets multiplied. Way beyond what seems possible.
And the armor analogy, David and Saul's armor.
Yeah, David tried on King Saul's fancy armor, but it didn't fit. It weighed him down. It wasn't his. You're unique. Your designer armor, your specific gifts and talents are custom made just for you. Don't try to be someone else. Use your slingshot.
Embrace your own unique toolkit.
Precisely. You are not lacking. You're not shortchanged or disadvantaged. You have custom-made gifts. Use them and trust they will be multiplied.
Okay, powerful.
So wrapping this all together, how should we carry ourselves day to day? It comes down to remembering your royal identity, keeping your crown on. Osteen says, when you were created, a crown of glory and honor was placed on your head. It symbolizes authority, blessing, favor. You are royalty, essentially.
And there's that active command in Revelation, right? Hold fast to what you have so that no one will take your crown. It's not passive. It's a conscious defense against things trying to diminish your sense of worth. Because things will try.
Absolutely right. People, circumstances, even our own slip-ups, they'll try to knock that crown off, make us feel small, less than. Remember Eleanor Roosevelt's famous line, no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. You have to grant that permission.
So you have to actively refuse.
Yes. So when negative thoughts come or someone says something derogatory, you're not talented, you're not attractive, look what you did wrong. The instruction is straighten your crown. Respond internally or even out loud if needed with affirmations. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I know I'm one of a kind. Yeah, I messed up, but I didn't stay down. I got back up.
You don't need external validation when you have that internal higher approval.
Exactly. The core idea is that the enemy's main tool is deception, trying to trick you into giving up your crown, leading to fear and insecurity. Like Adam and Eve in the garden, they basically gave away their crowns. And God's question was key. Who told you that you were naked? Where did that negative self-perception come from?
It wasn't the original programming.
Nope. And think of Naomi in the Bible. Life got hard. She lost her husband, her sons. She became bitter, wanted to change her name to Mara, meaning bitter. But her friends kept calling her Naomi, which means my joy. They refused to let her wear that bitter label. They helped her put her crown back on. And eventually, she found new purpose, new joy.
That's a beautiful illustration of community helping restore identity.
It is. And the final powerful message here is, you wouldn't still be here unless there was another victory ahead of you. Rediscover who you really are, a masterpiece, a child of the Most High God, crowned with glory and honor. Hold on to that crown.
So Quite a journey we've covered.
Yeah, we've gone from understanding our minds as these powerful computers, learning to hit delete on negative thoughts and labels, embracing that inner metamorphosis like the butterfly, thinking ourselves towards victory, realizing we're pregnant with possibility, and knowing we actually have what we need right now, and finally, keeping that crown firmly on our heads.
At the end of the day, this whole deep dive into think better, live better really boils down to actively guarding your mind, doesn't it? And affirming the truth about who you really are, that masterpiece, crowned with favor. It's a strong reminder our inner world creates our outer reality.
Absolutely spot on. And as you, listening, go about your day, maybe think about this. What specific virus or maybe a label have you been letting run in your mental software? Just quietly in the background. What might happen if you dared to hit that delete button right now and start rewriting your own narrative, aligning it with the truth Osteen presents about who you are?
What incredible possibilities might unlock, though.
Exactly. We really hope this deep dive gave you some powerful tools, maybe a fresh perspective on the amazing potential sitting right inside you. Until next time, keep thinking better.
And living better.